there, everybody. My name is Tony Grillo, and this is my dog DJ. Hi, DJ. And welcome to our channel, Wisconsin Hugs. And today, I just pulled over. Maybe I can flip this around. I am at the Walmart Distribution Center here in Olney, Illinois. And I am waiting to get my trailer unloaded, and so I was going to make a quick sandwich, and then I got to take this guy out for a walk outside. They don't have any snow on the ground out here, and it's a tiny bit warmer here than it is back home in Wisconsin. We had a lot of snow earlier in the week, and then we got a little more snow, just mostly snowflakes that occurred early this morning on our way to work. But so today's video, I took my girlfriend to one of the most haunted places. It's very famous in Milwaukee, one of the most haunted famous places in Milwaukee. She actually knew about it because I think she had family or friends. My dog's barking at somebody. He's so funny because when I'm in the truck with him, he's very brave. But if I'm alone and somebody walks by the truck, now he'll bark at him. When I'm alone, like if I'm not in the truck, he's very quiet. He doesn't peep one bark. But yeah, he's very brave when I'm here, but I love him. And so anyways, I'm going to tell you about that experience that we went to the Shaker Cigar Bar. Shaker Cigar Bar in Milwaukee. And yeah, it was actually my girlfriend suggested it. She knew about it. I don't know if she had a friend or a family member or somebody went there, and they had a blast going there, and she told me that we would enjoy it as well. And so I will share that experience. I took a bunch of pictures, and I actually did have a really weird picture that I'm going to show all of you. So we'll get to that in a minute here. So this is my post on Sunday. Tony Grillo is with Elizabeth Newberry Jimenez at Shaker's Milwaukee. Yesterday I took my gal to the famous Milwaukee haunted site known as the Shaker's Cigar Bar. They do daily tours, seances, and allow overnights where only 10% stuck around until morning. The ones that fled claimed they had hallucinations of the ceiling burning in a fire. So the bar was opened in 1894 as a cooperage of Schlitz beer, then Prohibition hit, and the Capone brothers bought the bar and ran it as a speakeasy, which was legal at that time. Building has secret doorways and rooms Al Capone made use of. The building itself was built over a cemetery, and scanning equipment today shows two bodies huddled next to each other under the concrete. The Milwaukee police have no interest because the bodies are so old and don't match any cold cases they got, so the bodies remain there and are marked by two skeletons the owner placed there. No one knows who they are or how they got there. A beautiful old iron safe was also found by the owner. It appears to have been owned by Frank Capone, but his last name is filed off the engraving. Anyone can try to open it. I gave it a shot but failed to open it. I guess they've had some of the best safe crackers that are in the business come out there and spend like an entire day trying to break that safe open, but they couldn't do it. The safe is so thick that no scanning devices work to see if anything is inside. So they have no idea if anything is inside that safe or not. I mean, for all we know, it could be like a Geraldo thing where Geraldo opened up on live TV, opened Al Capone's vault, and there was nothing in there. That's most likely what it is. There's nothing in that safe, but you know, who knows? There could be something there. We just don't know. But he's been offered money, you know, to sell the safe, but no, he refused it. He keeps it in the cellar down there where Capone had his secret office. And I'm kind of glad because I get to see the safe and touch it, and I even tried to turn the knobs and tried to open it. Very dark spirits are said to inhabit the cellar where the safe exists, and the Capones had a secret office. There's a bottomless cistern well that also located there. That may have been a perfect spot to dispose of any evidence, like bodies or whatever. 2 ghosts are said to inhabit the upstairs. One is an 8-year-old girl named Elizabeth. She died falling off a tree and breaking her neck. She inhabits the ladies' bathroom where people claim they hear a girl's laughter or running footsteps. Stall doors open, lights flicker, and faucets turn off and on by themselves. The second ghost is Molly Brennan. She was 18 and worked as an A-girl on the top floor of the 3rd-story building. The brothel had fluffers on the 2nd floor, and the prices of services are painted on the stairs that have a steel gate and would have had a large bouncer, which is the only way to get in. Molly had a childhood friend who she was reacquainted with in Milwaukee. His name was Patrick, who was madly in love with her. Apparently Patrick wanted Molly to run away with him, but she wasn't sure she wanted to leave the life that allowed her many luxuries. Patrick bribed the guard, named Sam, to let him in while she had a customer, and he hid somewhere till she was done and was shocked to see his dad leaving. It's up for debate whether Molly knew if that was Patrick's dad or not. After Dad left, Patrick, in a fit of rage, strangled Molly, cut her body up in the tub, and burned part of it in the fireplace. Later, Patrick and the bouncer Sam were both found dead. No one knows how it went down. So, yeah, there's only one way to get to that top apartment, and she had the place all to herself. So, you know, she had a bedroom, she had a kitchen, she had a bathroom, and she also had privacy. She had a bouncer that with a guarded gate that you know, the only way to get into her place was you had to get past the bouncer and the gateway that was there. It was a bar door, you know, that was there. And so apparently what happened is Sam must have went up, you know, Sam let Patrick in because he probably knew that those two were, you know, knew each other, were very well acquainted. And maybe he also knew that was Patrick's dad that was up there, and he probably didn't think anything of it. He probably thought, yeah, okay, I'll let you in, Patrick. I get a little money in my pocket here. He probably never realized that, you know, Patrick would have done what he did. But then, you know, the father left, and Patrick probably, you know, Sam, the body, you know, he probably figured that, hey, you know, Patrick was going to have his fun, and you know, left him some privacy. And then after a while, he probably started wondering what was going on, you know, and he went upstairs and he saw what had happened. He saw that she'd been killed, and I'm sure he had, you know, Patrick, you know, killed her or cut her up with a knife. So obviously he had a knife in possession, and I'm sure those two fought. I'm sure they struggled, you know, there was a knife involved, and who knows, maybe both men had knives. I mean, if he's a bouncer, he probably had weapons, and they both wound up dead. Or maybe, you know, Patrick jumped him, killed him, and then killed himself. We don't know exactly how it went down. You know, this happened, you know, in the, you know, back during the Prohibition era. So, you know, they didn't have the forensic sciences back then like we do now. Many years later, the current owner, Bob, found bones under a floorboard when he was doing the remodeling. The police confirmed the bones were consistent with a woman from that time period and believe it is Molly. Molly's head and hands were never recovered. The current owner wanted to make a memorial to Molly and have the bones lie in a place at the bar, but a Native American shaman told him that would create too much negative energy. So Molly's bones were laid to rest on a bluff overlooking Lake Michigan. In one famous pic, a guy took a shot of a mirror And Molly's image can be seen. No one else was in the room when he snapped the pic, and she appeared in old clothes. I did enclose that pic among the other ones I took. Molly has a habit of only communicating with ladies, either through mediums, divining rods, or through ghost boxes or spirit boxes. Molly appears to have no interest in communicating with men. Other spirits may haunt here as well. Many ladies committed suicide here when they were no longer desirable, and many men lost their lives being robbed in the alleys. Fun tour. I highly recommend it if you make a stop here in Milwaukee. So now we're going to go through the pictures that I took while I was on that tour. This is a big mural that exists outside the building, kind of like to the side of the main entrance. But you can see the number 1894 on the top, and then I can't remember when the painting was done, but the artist tried to use the original colors of that time period, and supposedly this is a picture of the original owner that started the whole thing, and it's supposed to be you see that the cigar smoke is in the shape of S for shakers. And supposedly it's like these girls are kind of like clawing at him a little bit, like bringing him down. It's kind of like you see like a blue hand right over there, and it's in another hand over there, but it's kind of like debauchery was brought him down, made his downfall. But that's kind of what was the message there. But it is a very pretty mural that was done. This is a picture of the building from the outside, and they do play up the ghost image here pretty well. They got colored lights all over the place that really light it up, and you can see they have several neon ghosts sitting there, and one in the windows, like you can see one in the window there. There's a ghost there. You have another ghost that's at the top of the building. You have purple lights, you got red lights, looking out the windows. Just a very cool looking building. Yeah, here's another picture. You can even see they have one of those they used to serve beer in barrels. They have one of the original barrels there that they used to bring beer in, and they even put the image of their ghost logo on that barrel. Another picture of the building. And this is like the main entrance of the building. It's very colorful, and there's like a lot of knickknacks or eye candy or whatever you got. I mean, you got like these little guys sitting there at the front entrance, and it's just a cigar bar. So basically you go in there, you can buy a cigar and smoke it inside there and have a drink. And when we were there was actually a fun little jazz band that was there. This was at a building that is across the street from Shakers, and what they do is they have a spotlight with the ghost image, and that spotlight goes across the street and shines on this building. So that's why the ghost moves in a circle on the building across the street. It's pretty cool. And then this is what the bar looks like in the inside. Just beautiful building, 1894, and they put a lot of work into remodeling it. And and smell of cigars. It actually smells really good when you walk in. And they have pictures everywhere, old pictures, kind of give you that old feel, old furniture, and they light it up, and then they use colors from vibrant colors from that time period. They put a lot of different stuff all over the place, like you got a lion's head here, and Here's a room there. And it looks like we're kind of on the tour now. Some old pictures. Some rooms that are there. They like to put a skeleton there for the fun of it. Place is very popular on Halloween. They do tours daily, all week long, like 7 days a week. They have tours set up. So we went on Sunday at 6 o'clock. They actually have 3 tours. Me and the girlfriend were the only ones that signed up for that tour. So we got the tour guide all for ourselves. Picture of the stairway. Very pretty old building. And here we are. Some of my pictures are a little bit out of order. I apologize about that. But I believe this is like the second floor of the building. And they had only one entranceway, and I'll probably show you those pictures of the entranceway, but there's a picture of my girlfriend there, and you can see me in the reflection. And I'll probably go back to that picture in a bit. Now, this was, we are on the 3rd floor now, and yeah, these pictures are out of order. I apologize for that. Probably should have done it the other way. But yeah, we are actually on the 3rd floor. This is the floor where Molly Brennan lived, and this supposedly is the famous image that was captured. Somebody took a picture, and this gentleman, you can see him on the right, and then right there, he was supposedly all alone in this room, and that image appeared on the mirror, and he was able to snap that. And it kind of looks like a lady there with a hat, like an old style hat, and a lot of people claim that that was Molly. Other people say they could see other spirits. If you look like above the feathers, it kind of looks like some other spirits are floating around. It's hard to tell. I know when I was looking at it, when I saw the original picture, I thought there might have been a spirit of an animal that was behind Molly. For me, my gut reaction said it was a black cat. And I was told that people that have spent the night here actually woke up with scratch marks and claw marks on their arms and legs, and they thought that a cat had maybe struck them during the night sometime. So this is Molly's room right here, and that fire, you know, she was strangled on her bed, and then she was taken to her bathroom, which was down this hallway, and she was cut up into pieces, and then Patrick put the love of his life, body parts into the fireplace, and he was burning her in the fireplace. That's the exact fireplace where he did that dastardly deed. Yeah, here it is again. That's the fireplace right there, and you can see me. I'm right there snapping a picture of it. You can see there's a little doll there on the front, and this was the room that Molly slept in as an A-girl. Apparently what happens when you're an A-girl is that somebody famous will pay for all your expenses and pays for you to stay in that top floor, and you become their you know, I guess official mistress. And then, you know, she would not have to do any other work, if that's the word you want to use, if she wanted to. But apparently
She did see other customers because she wanted to make more money, and so she did see other people. And I do not know who the person was that made her the A girl. Usually, when a person like that is either a very powerful politician or a very powerful business owner in Milwaukee. It was one or the other, and I don't know who that was that made her the A girl. Here's another picture of the fireplace where, yeah, her body was unfortunately burned. And, here's a picture here where we're sitting. This would have been Molly's kind of living room. She actually had 2 living rooms, and I believe other girls may have come in and out of there. Other A girls may have hung out there. There may have been as many as maybe 3 A girls that might have lived in that area. So that other room may have been another bedroom or something. You know, and it's funny because somebody made a comment that my girlfriend looks like she's kind of had it with the trip, and it was interesting that he said that because she began feeling things. She thought she felt like a tightening on her throat, and she thought she maybe smelled something like fire or ashes or whatever, something burning like under her nose. And then we were told the story of Molly, the fact that Molly had been strangled and cut up in the tub, and then her body was put into the fireplace and burned. And she didn't know any of that. Neither one of us knew the story about Shakers. We just heard that it was a fun haunted tour and that we should go check it out because people, know that, I enjoy that. I know she enjoys that kind of stuff too. But yeah, she did start feeling, she felt some things there when she was there. And I guess that's really common with women. A lot of women that go there, well, women are more in tune with the spirit world, as far as like being mediums and being able to channel energies and things of that nature. Anything spiritual, women have a better connection. All right, so I had to deal with work calling me for a sec, telling me I need to run to Evansville, pick up a load of breadcrumbs to haul back to Appleton, Wisconsin, where they use the breadcrumbs to make jalapeno poppers. That's what they do. So, and I have to bring a load of breadcrumbs back up to Wisconsin. So, anyways, back to my video here. Yeah, you can see. Hopefully, I don't get censored by YouTube for that. There are pictures. This was an interesting picture right here. I don't know if that's Medusa. It kind of looks like Medusa, but then I don't know if those are snakes or if that's a lady with a plant with a mask, and I don't know if she's got like leaves for hair. I don't know. It's hard to tell what that is. My dog is barking at the truck next to me because that guy looks like he's done. So this is a really wonderful house, and there I am getting my girlfriend. She gets mad at me when I take pictures of that. But she's walking up the steps, and just a really pretty place. And of course then they light it up everywhere, and you got the wild colors all over the place. But yeah, it's a fun place to walk around. That kind of looks like a spooky painting right there. I think they intentionally do that. They put some spooky paintings in there. And then, of course, they add lights to it to even make it more eerie. I don't even know what that picture is. It kind of looks like some kind of creature or something, Cool light, though. It's not a picture that you put in your house or see Grandma put in her house. And yeah, Shaker's Cigar Bar, and Yeah, they'll even have like a witch sitting there with the little ghost symbol. DJ. And then they have little pictures here too, all over the place. And there's our tour guide, talking with my girlfriend. And this was a shot of one of the rooms where they have the ghost image, that, neon. And here's another room. And yeah, that was our tour guide there. The ghost image here. It was really interesting because my girlfriend said when we got home she had this crazy dream, and she said there were some children in the dream. She didn't know who they were, and then she was going through my pictures, and all of a sudden she zoomed in on this picture here, and she goes, "You know what? I think that kid right there, that in that picture, was in my dream. And I think the kid was trying to tell me something." And, and maybe, her subconscious saw the picture and filed it in the back of her head. I don't know. But it is funny, that, she didn't remember any of the kids. And then when she all of a sudden was looking at my Facebook post, she said, "I believe that kid right there," when she zoomed in on this, "I believe that kid was the kid that was in my dream." And I said, "Well, maybe we'll have to find out the story about that kid." And then she said there was something about this picture too, but it looks like it's it's a spooky picture right here. It looks like a church, and I think there's, I don't know, some creatures there with a moon that looks like a monster. It had monster eyes or something with the moon. I thought this was kind of pretty, and I just took a picture of it, this butterfly that they had on the wall. And then I don't know what this creature is they have lit up next to the butterfly. Kind of looks like fairy creatures. Now this is one of the craziest pictures I took. This is the stairway. You go past a gate. It's like a iron gate that a bouncer would, be there, and you'd have to get past the bouncer to get through there. And then this stairway right here leads you to second and third floor. Second floor is where they had the fluffers, and a kind of funny story about that, the fluffers, because my girlfriend had never heard that term before. But if you read the words, I probably cannot read them, but they would write, the services they offered, and then they'd write a price on the side. So like sitting on a blank, so much money. Watching a blank match, so much money. Made for I'll go to the next one because I think you can read them a little better. I might have zoomed in. Yeah, made to rub your blank. blank TIT, blank. $1. Basically, you could actually even just go watch somebody, do something, and you could pay for that if that's what got you. Basically anything that, that's whatever it took for the fluffers to get you going, that, you would pay for that. And there wasn't any privacy in one of these places. So, yeah, there's something in the what hole. I mean, there is everything there. I forgot what that cost. Here we go. Yeah. Blowing in the what. Doggy fashion. That was $2. And I'm sorry if I offend anybody, but I'm showing what it was like here at this place. So these were like some of the services. Yeah, and this was a door, the doorway that would lead to the stairway. And I believe here we are in the cellar now. This is where Al Capone had his secret office. And then they add stuff in here to make it more spooky. You know, like you got this thing here. And they lit it up. And this whole cellar area is rather creepy. There's like a lot of old stuff in there. And yeah, some of it they just never threw away. Or maybe they're sorting through it still. You know, old machines, adding machines, a lot of adding machines and stuff. So I assume this, you know, place probably did a lot of money back when it was Al Capone's place. And yeah, they had adding machines everywhere. And a lot of old adding machines. I don't know, it might be worth some money, you know. This is the spot I was telling you about in the corner there, where they knew building had been built over a cemetery. A lot of the bodies of the cemetery they got rid of, but they thought, well, you know, maybe let's examine, see if there's, you know, we have this device. It can, you know, it can give you a reading of what's under the ground. And so they brought the device over there, and they were scanning the concrete, and sure enough, an image of two skeletons appeared under the concrete. And so they brought the police in, but the police said, we don't have any interest in it, in these two bodies. It's way too old. The floor is old, you know, and we don't have any cold cases that match it. So now we're just gonna let it be. So nobody's sure if you know, if how those bodies got there, if they were part of the cemetery and they never got moved, or you know, or if maybe they, you know, were messed with, you know, they were murdered and then they were buried while the building was being built. And this is who they believe Frank. You can see on the top of that safe, Frank L. But then they scratched off Capone. But they believe this is Frank Capone's safe. And it is a very heavy, very thick metal, iron, very well built safe. And nobody's been able to crack it. And they've had some of the best safe crackers there. Nobody's gotten it open. Safe crackers that have spent days trying to get that safe open, and they couldn't do it. So here's another picture of the safe. And then, yeah, here's the cellar. And they light it up with lots of weird colored lights to make it look even more creepy. And this is that cistern, the bottomless cistern. It's been said that they've tried to cover that cistern up, and every time there was an attempt to cover it up, something happened that caused it to wind up not being covered up anymore. And there is water there, but it is the grossest looking water you ever want to see. But yeah, it's a cistern well apparently, and it's been said that there was probably stuff that was dumped in there. You know, if they wanted to get rid of evidence, Capone probably used it. Yeah, and here's another picture of that. And then there's that object there we saw earlier, and with a different colored light. And here's a stairway that leads. Actually, there's a separate entryway in the alleyway that would come to this place where this was. And here's some more pictures of the bar. I took these pictures when I first walked in. And this is a rather interesting picture because I did not take this picture. And as you can see, all my pictures are like, except for the ones of the stairway, all my pictures are you know, what do they call it, landscape mode. And this one is in portrait mode. So, you know, the only pictures I took in portrait mode was was the ones of the stairways, so you could get all the reading of the stairways. But yeah, this one wound up in portrait mode, and I have no idea how that picture got taken. I don't even know where it is. I'm guessing it's a cellar, but I'm not sure where. And my girlfriend, when she looked at the picture, she kept thinking fresh blood for whatever reasons. She kept getting that feeling. And here was another picture that was taken, but now this one's in landscape mode. So I did not take this picture. No idea how it showed up there, but that seems to happen a lot when you go to these ghost tours. You'll take a whole bunch of pictures, and then when you go back home and you're looking at the pictures, you have a hard time, you'll find some pictures. A lot of times you'll find pictures you're like, hey, I didn't take that picture. I don't know how that got there. I know that when I went on a different ghost hunt, they called them jelfies, like selfies, only ghosts. So they like a ghost selfie, or they called it a jelfie. That was a term. Here's this furniture is just awesome. This old furniture. There was probably another room that was in that bar. I think this is on the first floor, not too far from the band. And you could sit there, smoke your cigar, and listen to the band. Here's another picture of the bar, and it's got that beautiful ceiling tile, old-style ceiling tile. I guess it was really popular because I've seen a couple other places that had that ceiling tile, and I think it works really well with acoustics. Like, my cousin's a famous jazz singer, and he has a band, and he sounds really good at one particular bar that has the same kind of tile up there on the ceiling. It's like an old style tile. Yep, DJ agrees. And this is a picture. I believe this was in the bathroom, but it was a puzzle. Somebody put it together, but it kind of fits this place very well. It's a brothel, a puzzle that was put together, and then they framed it of an old style brothel where you had the men and the ladies, and exactly. One guy's taking one upstairs, and then you got I don't know why I took a picture here, but I think I kind of like the colors. I can't remember if this is part of the bathroom, if this is the doors in and out of the girls' bathroom where Elizabeth is said to haunt the ladies' bathroom. I took another picture there. I think I'm probably standing in front of a stoplight, because that's probably, or not stoplight, the spotlight, because that's probably me right there. And right here, these are pictures of Elizabeth. If I could zoom in on there. Okay, that's probably as close as I'm going to get it. But this was the little girl, Elizabeth, who fell out of a tree. And she, I don't know how she wound up at this bar, but maybe because the tree was close by or something. But anyways, she died at 8 years old, and she is said to haunt this bathroom. She especially enjoys when people are using the stalls. She likes to appear and laugh and maybe turn faucets off and on, or open stall doors while you're in there, or flicker the lights. Here's another picture I took. Yeah, that's me right there, snapping a picture. And I think that's my girlfriend standing behind me. At least I hope it is, and not a ghost. That's here.
Somebody sent me.
You know, I'm in Illinois, and yeah, my Wi-Fi is breaking up.
See on TV like the, you know, like somewhere in the old times. All right.
So that was a video I made there of the place. Another picture of the bar.
Here, this place. Here we are, and where are we? We're at Shaker's Cigar Bar, 1894. This building. Oh, you can see right there.
It's kind of funny because that lion's head, if you see that right there, it lights up and then the light turns off, and then, you know, so like you walk in and you the light will be off and you don't see the lion's head up there, and then all of a sudden the light will turn on and the lion's head.
1894. This building has quite the history. It was a brothel, and apparently there's a bunch of other stuff that went on here.
And of course, my Wi-Fi keeps cutting in and out.
And it's a lot. Apparently there's ghostly activity here. We're gonna do the ghost tour. Find out what we can. Even have like right there, there's a little symbol, a ghost symbol right there. So Elizabeth and I, we bought our ghost hats. So we're gonna check this place out, see if we can see any ghosts. Look at that right there, huh? The lion's head lights up. I didn't see it when it wasn't lit up, babe. Right there, the lion's head up straight up there. And then they shut the light off on it, and yeah. But even the ceiling is pretty cool. It just has a really neat old feel to it.
Okay, so now I'm going to show you, I don't know, the picture that I thought was interesting. You know, I've had some time to look at it and examine it. You know, when you take pictures of a haunted place like this, you hope you capture something really cool. And this is, you know, the fireplace where Molly's body was burned after she was strangled by Patrick, her childhood love of her life, and so you could see me in the background pretty clearly, you know, as I take the picture. But she, on the other hand, is kind of blurry right there, like you know, like her face is blurry, even though I'm very clear. You can see my reflection clearly in the background. But and so I started to look at the blurry part, and then it kind of freaked me out a little bit, because when you zoom in, it's almost like you could see a head, a second head appearing from out of her head. Now, if you zoom in on this picture, you can see my girlfriend's face. You see the doll body right there, and then just above the doll body, like right on my girlfriend's forehead, there's another head, like right on her forehead. And it's obviously it's her, you know, but that head is tiny, and it looks like it could fit right on that doll body. And you can see me as clear as day right there. So it, you know, it could be a double exposure, it could be movement. The only thing is, it's really tiny, and look how clear it is compared to how blurry her face is there. And then it occurred to me, well, we are standing in front of a mirror. So maybe the tiny head is her reflection in the mirror, you know? And that's probably the most logical explanation for what's going on here. But what makes it weird is that, okay, even her reflection isn't all that clear when compared to my face. The reflection, if that is her reflection that's in the mirror, which it most likely is, it's, you know, not as clear as what my face is. And then the fact that her face is really blurry here, but you know, it is a weird picture, just the way everything turns out. When I first looked at it, I was like, oh my God, there's another face like appearing off the top head, like a mini face, like a mini head is appearing out of your forehead, you know? And so I was kind of having some fun with that with her. I was like telling her, you know, maybe she has, you know, a second mini head, you know, and I happened to catch a picture of it, that it appears in and out of her forehead, you know, and I was kind of joking around with her about that, about, you know, maybe she has two heads, you know. But it is kind of a weird, you know, picture when you really look at it. Like if you fold back and you know, you see her head right there, and then like, yeah, and then I thought something weird with her head there, and then I zoomed in on it, and then I saw like a second head appearing from her forehead. But it's a weird picture. And maybe it's just the optics, you know, the way I took it. And maybe there's nothing to it. But I did submit it to the place and to let them look at it and see what they think about it. Because, yeah, you know, you see glasses here, and then you know, right above the doll. And then you see, and then right, you know, and then right where her chin is, where her other little head is, you know, there's her chin and nose, and there's her glasses, and yeah, that's probably her reflection in the mirror. Like her face is like right, but her face is all blurry. That's the problem. Her face is blurry when I took the picture of her there, but then her reflection is a lot more clear. But then even her reflection is not as clear as my head. My face is very clear there. You could clearly see me. So this is the original picture as it appears. And then, yeah, look how blurry her face is. And then, yeah, when I started zooming in on it, like right there, I was like, wait a minute. What the hell? There's a second head there. So it is a, you know, optical illusion, a fun optical illusion, you know, but you got a mirror there. But even so, the fact that you could see me crystal clear, but you can't see, even her reflection's not that clear, and then her face is all blurry here. Just makes for a kind of an interesting picture. So that's all I have for you as far as that goes. Maybe if you guys want, I'll read you a story of somebody that did spend a night there and what they had to say about it. Okay, so this is one article. I just found this one. I have not read this one, so I have no idea what this person wrote about. Back in October 2017, probably, Halloween. Matt Wild. Okay, let's read real quick what he had to say. The interesting thing about ghosts is that they don't exist. Not now, not ever, not on set of Three Men and a Baby. Oh, remember that? Yeah. There's a scene in there. If you don't know about Three Men and a Baby, there's an image of somebody behind a curtain. And a lot of people think that's a ghost. Well, it turned out that was nothing more than a post. It was like a cardboard cutout of, I think it was Ted Danson, and somebody stuck it like behind a curtain, and so it looks like a ghost of a boy or something like that, and people were saying, that there was a boy that somehow or another died in the house, and then when Three Men and a Baby were filming there, the boy suddenly appeared behind the curtain. Well, that's not exactly what happened. That it was like a cardboard cutout of an image of Ted Danson, and somebody on the set threw it behind the curtain just to get it out of the way, and then they forgot about it and they filmed it, and the director didn't realize it was there, never saw it in the clip, and then people saw it, saw this shadowy figure hiding behind the curtain, and they thought it might be the ghost boy, and so that's pretty good. The non-existence of ghosts is so self-evident to me, so obvious and elemental that it hardly needs explanation. Gauzy wisp of human beings, all their members, emotions, physical characteristics, somehow intact, lurking in the corners of our eyes and subtly changing a room's barometric pressure. Come on, let's be adults here. Admit that when we die, we simply cease to be. See, I don't believe that at all. We don't. This person, I think's got that totally wrong. We don't ascend or descend to another realm. We don't come back as someone or something else, and we certainly don't hang around in non-corporeal forms, struggling to communicate with a bunch of dudes sporting night vision cameras and cargo shorts. I mean, seriously. The interesting thing about Shaker's Cigar Bar is that ghosts do exist. Well, the idea and the business of ghosts definitely do. I'm sitting at the venerable Walker's Point Bar on a Monday night. 2 pricey absinthe cocktails down the hatch. Death in the afternoon, $15 each, and another looming like a threat. In a few minutes, I'm scheduled to take a tour of Shaker's haunted basement, a tried and true Milwaukee tradition I've neglected to do in my 21 years here. I'm not looking forward to it. What seemed like a fun idea weeks before now seems unbearably silly. I'm feeling lonely, out of place, and depressed. Maybe it's the weather, maybe I'm a little drunk, maybe I'm just in a mood. It's not Shaker's fault. The owner, Bob Weiss, has already regaled me with his spooky sales pitch. Shaker's is haunted. Shaker's is so haunted that it's the 5th most haunted bar in America. Shaker's will be featured in a Netflix special sometime next year. It has really good food, etc. Weiss operates a number of hangman tours in and around Shaker's, including a Horrors 20s tour and a Jeffrey Dahmer themed Cream City Cannonball tour. People constantly report seeing at least 14 paranormal residents flitting through the place. For me, the spookiest thing is being 3 weeks smoke-free and hanging out in a bar where literally everyone is smoking. Yeah, I tell you what, those cigar smokes, that smelled good in that bar. I'm about to order that third drink when my tour guide Noah appears. Oh, that's interesting. He had a guy. I thought mostly it was women that did the tours. Apparently, I'm the only person scheduled for the 10 p.m. adult-orientated 2.0 tour. I'm mortified. I'm sorry to put you through this just for me, I say to Noah. Not a problem, he smiles. I get paid either way. So, Noah leads me across the room to an open door that leads me to the basement. You know what's really nice about those people is, they scheduled at least 3 tours every day. And I'm sure they have days where nobody shows up, or they'll have a day where 1 or 2 people show up. I happened to show up on a day where it was just me and my girlfriend. We were the only 2, but I actually like that. It was really nice having a one-on-one with the tour guide, we got to be with them, and we could ask whatever questions we want, and not have to worry about what other people thought, or what other people, like maybe snicker at what we believe, or maybe disrespect, the tour itself. It was really nice, just me and her. We got to go on a tour, and I really enjoyed that. So on the way, we passed a glass-top humidor plastered with a Hangman Tour sticker. I slept with a ghost, it reads. Oh yeah, that's what I'm here to do too, to spend the night alone in Shaker's haunted third-floor penthouse, sleep with a ghost. If ghosts existed, which they most certainly do not. Yeah, keep thinking that, buddy. Shaker's was built in 1894, first serving as a cooperage house for Schlitz Brewery. Then things got interesting in the 20s and 30s when it became a Prohibition-era speakeasy operated by Al and Frank Capone. It was during this time, the story goes, a jealous suitor murdered the A-girl prostitute working on the third floor, 16-year-old Molly Brennan. Yeah, some people say 18, some say 16, so I don't know exactly how old she was. She wasn't very old, though, I know that. Fast forward a few decades, and Weiss opened Shaker's as it is today in 1986. In 2001, during a remodel, Weiss and the construction crew found human bones in the walls of the former brothel. I heard it was in the floorboards, but whatever. Bones were determined to be roughly 70 years old. I'm getting all this and plenty more as Noah leads me through the cluttered and low-ceiling basement. In between tales of mysterious moving safes and mysterious pockets of energy. One thing strikes me. Everyone here takes this very, very seriously. Yeah, I got that feeling too. It was a very serious tour, and yeah, even with the lights that go on, they have a lot of lights there to make it look really cool. But there are no corny haunted house gimmicks, no 666 Halloween sound FX CDs piped through hidden sound systems. It's an old leaky basement, and an old leaky basement that just happens to be haunted, if you believe that sort of thing. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And there's a safe, and here's some of the pictures he took of the place. And then yeah, they also have on the Shaker's website if you want to spend a night there. Now, me and the girlfriend have been talking about spending the night there, but I don't know if she, when we were there, she had a hard time just being there on the tour when we went up to the third floor. And she even has some pictures where her hands appear to be like really red, and she swears she could have felt like a burning feeling, that was going on. And so, yes, there was some crazy things that she felt while she was there. So you anyways, let's go through this. And okay, so now he says he's alone 11 o'clock, and he's there. So he tells a story about the first time he encountered death. His cousin committed suicide at 17. He was a decade older than me and lived in a different town, but we've been friends. And I remember two of us hanging out, played video games, messed around with firecrackers and battery acid. Oh, wow, okay. Everything I took away from his death was wrong. I thought this decision was an adult one. He was 17. And the anger and confusion my family was feeling was misplaced. He knew what he was doing. I thought he was brave. He was a grown-up. It took me decades to shake those bad ideas. Another thing I remember sitting at church at this funeral, wondering if he was still there. I closed my eyes and convinced myself that I heard an unexpected noise in the next few seconds. A knock, a bump, a hum. It would be proof of his presence. Proof that part of him lingered. I remember waiting for a long time. I wanted to hear something, but nothing came. Eventually, I heard a bird chirping. So I decided to take a look around. It's $350 a night penthouse. So, okay, that's what it costs. I was wondering what it cost if we wanted to do a full night there. It's actually a full-floor apartment complex with a queen-size bed, a working fireplace, modern, and a handful of sitting rooms. It's nice, but not too nice. Fireplace is original, but the washer and dryer in the kitchen definitely aren't. The bathroom's a little scuffed up, but hey, it has a jacuzzi. I didn't know they had a jacuzzi. That might actually be kind of fun to have a jacuzzi in a ghost room. Everything smells like dust and goths with disposable income. It's not a hotel, but it's fine. So there's some of the pictures he took, the same pictures that I showed you. I don't know, the kitchen looked a lot better when I was there than what it looked there. This article is about 6 years old, so I'm sure they cleaned it up. Let's read a little bit. A mannequin torso decked out in a Hangman tour t-shirt stands in plain view of the bed. I think they got rid of that because I didn't see that there when I was there. And on the top of the dresser, there's a glass shard and some chopsticks, Polaroid of a girl with a shaved head, a dead ringer for Stranger Things. No spoilers, please. So, okay. I guess t-shirt butts. Yeah, they didn't have that there when I was there. Okay, girl with a shaved head. I didn't see any of that. I fiddled with some dowsing rods I find lying on a coffee table. I root through a utility closet. I'm still unsure what to do. I miss my family. I've only been gone a few hours. I stand in the middle of the room staring at nothing. It's just midnight, and I don't know. Maybe I listen for a knock. How odd is it that ghosts have changed their MO in recent decades? Here's a little thought experiment. What do you think of when you think about Amityville-era hauntings? Floating beds, flying furniture, bleeding walls, demonic voices, the whole 9 yards, and why not? It was the 70s. These ghosts knew how to party. That's actually funny. Now what do you think of when you think about modern hauntings? Quiet bumps in the night, errant voices, buried in static? Yeah, that's true. Ghost boxes, trying to pick out one or two words. Slight changes in room temperature, yep. And what happened to the floating beds, the bleeding walls, demonic voices? Well, apparently, how unfortunate that Spirit World apparently decided to cool things down just when everyone started carrying around high-definition cameras in their pockets. What a crazy coincidence. It occurs to me as I'm lying in bed 20 minutes later that experiences like this depend almost entirely on the participants. Yep, forget the undead. It's living that have to put themselves in the right frame of mind. Now, he is a guy that wrote this, and one of the things that I was told by my tour guide is that Molly really does not like corresponding with any men. So that may be, the fact that he was there, could be an indication, that, she wasn't going to pay him any mind if she was there. She was just going to ignore him and she wasn't going to do anything, So, let's see, what does he say? Let's see if we can finish this. I continue to stare ahead in a darkened room. I'll surely freak myself out at some point, but if I pick up my phone and start watching, say, a bunch of old Vines, maybe that Flying Lawnmower soundtrack to Mariah Carey's Emotions, but nothing will happen. Where's my phone? And then, before I throw in the towel, I flash back to a few hours ago, sitting in the bar, and one of the Shaker tour guides asked me a question. Well, what was your experience with ghosts? Well, I don't remember how old I was, but I was very young. I was lying in bed alone when I saw something on the wall. It was a shadow of a man in a long trench coat and a wide-brimmed hat. I knew it was a man, knew it was a person who didn't belong in my room. I called out for my mom anyway. Mom? I whispered, is that you, Mom? Mom, is that you? What happened next sounds incredibly silly and odd, but it scared me in a way I'd never been scared before, and I'd never been scared since. The shadow moved, and I heard a voice, a creaking mechanical alien voice, said one word, and it drew the word out until I was completely paralyzed with fear. Octopus. The shadow disappeared. My dog's barking. I lost my mind. It wasn't until college that I spilled my ghost story. I told it to a girl I had a crush on. Alright, I had to cut out there for a second. Now I'm back. It wasn't until college I spilled my ghost story. I told it to a girl I had a crush on, to us alone in the dark room developing film. I was embarrassed, but she nodded, held my hands, and she told me she talked to spirits all the time. An hour later, and I'm out of the bed, roaming. I can't sleep. It's almost 2 a.m. I reach the point where I'm looking through a dresser drawer. For some reason, my search is mostly futile, though I discover evidence that my lodgings haven't quite shook their brothel origins. Some things apparently never change. Now I'm pacing, taking pictures of every nook and cranny, pictures of scuff marks on the walls, pictures of nothing. The only restless spirit here, it seems, is me. First thing I thought of when I held my daughter's first time was death. It had been a harrowing delivery, sure. And there was an hour or so when I was convinced I'd be leaving the hospital alone, but it wasn't that. It was the sight of new life that made me think of death. New life that would grow old itself, new life that would leave everything dead in its wake. I started crunching the numbers. When my daughter turned 30, my parents would be in their 90s, dead or dying, and when my daughter turned 50, my wife and I would be in our 90s, dead or dying. And she too would eventually be dead or dying, her children or children's children, on and on, unrelenting possible escape. I'm still pacing. I'm never falling asleep. I should have bought sleeping pills. Why am I thinking about any of this? Where are the goddamn ghosts? And I was 27 when I had a moment of complete and total consciousness, complete and total presence, and my family and I were camping. I was sitting in the back of my cousin's boat as he pulled my brothers around in an inner tube. It was a nice time, but wholly unremarkable. I wasn't drunk and I wasn't high, but suddenly, out of nowhere, I could feel everything, hear everything, see everything. Everything made sense. I was completely at peace. The moment didn't last long, but it stuck with me. I've been hyper aware of the present ever since. Grateful for what I have and mindful of the time I have left. Let's face it, I'm getting old. Everyone around me is getting old. Things are slowly starting to wind down. Life is starting to take more than it gives, but not yet. Not now. I don't know. Maybe I'm fooling myself. Maybe I'm ignoring the inevitable and whistling past the graveyard. Maybe I'm ignoring the death all around me right now and the whistling past the walls stuffed with bones. Maybe I'm doomed. Maybe it doesn't matter. I'm back in bed, staring in the middle distance. Nothing is happening. I'm scared. I don't know why. I finally fall asleep just after 3 a.m. If any dreams come, I don't remember them. The sound of morning traffic wakes me up around 6. I peer out the window. It's quiet, peaceful morning. Sun's out. I think of how much this neighborhood, Walker Point, has changed in the last 2 decades. If the ghost of Molly Brennan does exist, she's clearly upgraded to a $1,750 a month luxury apartment. I get out of bed, gather my things. I'm getting dressed when I notice it. My glasses, which I swear I'd placed on my book bag near the fireplace the night before, are on the floor. And there's a scene in the original Ghostbusters where Venkman suspects a supernatural stack of books. You're right, he says. No human being would stack books like this. I think of that scene as I lock up the 3rd floor penthouse, lock up the main door of Shakers, and drop my key through the mail slot. No human would knock over a pair of glasses like this. My night at Milwaukee's most haunted cigar bar is officially over. What did it amount to? I'm not sure. Was I visited in the middle of the night by an eyewear adverse poltergeist? I doubt it. Was the ghost of a long-dead brothel girl there all along? Purposely invisible to my skeptical senses? Probably not. And if she isn't it convenient that that's how the spirit world works? Give me flying beds and bleeding walls any day. No, I was alone in a room. It wasn't what was there that scared me, but what wasn't there. I walked out of Shakers alone too, but not for long. I walk back into the world. I walk back into the world of the living. I walk home. Now that's... Hi everybody. Oh man, it's late at night. God, we're almost talking 12 midnight. I just finished my shift, working and everything, and I had some final things I wanted to say. I really did enjoy reading that one gentleman's article about his stay at the Shakey's. Although he's a non-believer, I have a couple things to say about that. And one of the things is the only he makes a statement about the fact that he's never seen any ghosts or any ghost paranormal activity, and that's the reason. And he bases his justification for being a skeptic because he's never seen it with his own 2 eyes. And that kind of thinking is, I find a fault with it, because
you can always use this logic. Do you have a brain? And he could say, well, yeah, I have a brain. Do you really believe you have a brain? And the guy could say, yeah, I know I have a brain because I think. And then you could say, yeah, but have you ever seen your brain? I mean, if you've never seen your brain, then how do you know you have a brain? I mean, it's that kind of logic that you could use. It's the same thing about paranormal activity. Just because you've never seen it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And he made another comment too about the fact that the 70s and 80s movies, you had rooms that were filling with blood and blood rolling down the walls and everything. And how come we don't see stuff like that nowadays when everyone has a smartphone? Well, first of all, there was a house in Gary, Indiana, and that house actually, it got calls claiming there was a demon that was residing in that house, and finally the people just had to flee. And the police came in there and took pictures of the house. And one of the police officers, actually with his police camera, he wrote the report that he thought he saw a demon. And he actually wrote that in his report. And the police officer snapped a picture of a demon looking out the window. So somebody did buy that house, one of those famous ghost hunter people on TV, and they actually had that house destroyed because they felt that was a very evil place, and that he just felt like he didn't want anybody to live in that house and become a victim to whatever evil was there. So they just bulldozed the house, demolished it. And I think they didn't even build another house on that land. He's just gonna, keep that lot empty and allow no one to live there. Pay the taxes on it, and that's it. But there's also a lot of YouTube stuff out there where security cameras catch paranormal activity. Hospital cameras are catching paranormal activity. Even school cameras, like school hallways, and the hallways schools are catching stuff all the time, and they're putting it on YouTube, and it's hard to fake that stuff. You can fake it. Even the picture I posted, after you look at it for a while, you start to realize, okay, I can see how, it looks really weird. But with the way I was standing and the way the camera was pictured and the way the mirror was situated, now I can kind of see how it could have formed, and that it was just an illusion, But at the same time, it is a weird illusion. It's a weird picture. Even if you can't explain it, it's still, the way it came out was really weird. And, I know I really wanted to take a picture of a ghost really bad, and I was hoping I would have found one. I would have had one. But anyways, I had a lot of fun on that tour anyway. And so that's all I'm going to end this video. You're always going to have non-believers. That's okay. I'm a believer myself. So that's where I sit, And I think there's plenty of evidence out there that does support, a paranormal activity, and that our bodies are just a temporary vessel for our spirit. And when our bodies give out, our spirit continues on. It goes to another phase, and I believe there's plenty of evidence that supports that. I've talked to people that have moved on, and then they came back to life, and they told me their stories. And that is also some videos I have on YouTube. You guys, I've told those stories about a coworker of mine that died twice, and he had an incredible story about why Jesus, gave the choice to him whether he wanted to come back or not, but then told him, you go back, it's not going to be an easy road, but there's a job you have to do when you go back. And mind you, this is a guy that's not religious at all. He never went to church, doesn't believe in God, and he won't even call Jesus Jesus. He calls him the man. That's what he calls him. He still can't get around to calling him Jesus, but he knows who the guy is. He knows he's Jesus, and the way he described him was exactly. He never read the book of Revelation, but the way he described Jesus as having white hair and a white beard, and he was dressed in all white and everything. Very electric looking person. He knew who it was. He was describing the way that Jesus is described in the book of Revelation. But anyways, my video got really long, and I'm not going to apologize for that. I had fun making this video. I hope you had fun watching it. If it gets long, I hope you stop it and then go back to it later, and watch some more of it. I hope that if you're in Milwaukee, I hope you take that tour, because I think it's worth it. It's not a very expensive tour. I know we paid $20 each, and it's like an hour or so tour. And I thought it was worth it, and just to hang out in a bar was fun too. In that part of town was really fun to hang out in, and so it just made for a really, if you're like, for us, we were looking for something to do on a Sunday because the weather was crappy, and we were tired of going to the same flea market that we go to when we're bored. And we really didn't feel like going to the casino either, so it was just something different to do, when you're looking for something to do, and you can't go hiking in nature, or go see a band because you just saw a band Saturday and your ears are ringing. So, it was a nice, fun, something different, something fun to do. But all right, everybody, Wisconsin Hugs, I'm out of here.